And for more on this summit, we're delighted to be joined over the telephone by Mr. Mohamed Ezaby, our international relations expert. It's a very good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohamed, for your time and for joining us this afternoon. Now, of course, President Sisi will be delivering Egypt's address as he's attending the Africa-France Partnership Summit held in Nairobi. An opportunity, really, for collaboration between African countries as well as France. And several bilateral meetings as well will be held between President Sisi and various African leaders. Let's ask you, sir, first and foremost, how do you see the importance of this summit as well as President Sisi's attendance highlighting the agenda?
Well, the French-African Summit held in Nairobi under the slogan Africa Forward represents far more than a routine diplomatic gathering, and it reflects a major geopolitical repositioning by Emmanuel Macron and an attempt by France to redefine its rule across the African continent. After years of declining influence, especially in the Sahel region, the summit also revealed how Africans have become one of the central arenas of global competition among international powers. One of the most important messages emerging from the summit is that Africa is no longer viewed merely as a peripheral geopolitical space, but rather as a future growth engine of the global economy. The participation of African leaders, including His Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and William Ruto, alongside major French business delegations, underlined the increasing strategic importance of African markets, natural resources, logistic corridors, renewable energy projects, and the digital transformation initiative. For France, the summit is clearly an effort to repair and rebuild its image in Africa. Over the past several years, Paris has suffered a severe erosion of influence in countries such as Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, when military cups and rising anti-French sentiment forces with the withdrawal of French troops and challenged the traditional post-colonial French shepherd of influence. Macron's rhetoric during the summit emphasizing a strategic partnership rather than French dominance, signaling an awareness within Paris that the old model of French-African relation is no longer sustainable.
Yes, absolutely, Doctor. Now, Dr. Mohamed, amongst the sessions and topics on the agenda of discussions are issues related to reforming international financial infrastructure in African countries, as well as access of African states to sustainable funding. How important do you see this, and specifically focusing on the issue of sustainability?
Well, economically, Macron announced a large investment package involving both French public-private funding and African investors, targeting sectors such as renewable energy, artificial intelligence, agriculture, maritime economies, and digital technologies. This indicates that France recognizes the future influence in Africa will be determined less by military presence and more by investment, infrastructure, technology, transfer, and economic integration. The timing of this summit also is equally important. It comes amid growing tensions between the United States and Europe following the return of Donald Trump to a White House and renewed dispute over NATO spending, tariffs, and strategic autonomy. In this context, Macron appears determined to project France as an independent global power capable of building a partnership outside the traditional transatlantic framework. Africa, therefore, becomes central to France's border strategy for geopolitical diversification and economic resilience.
Right. We'll leave it at that. Dr. Mohamed Ezaby, our guest, the international relations expert. Many thanks, sir, for your time and your insight and for joining us this afternoon.
Overnight, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi attended an official working dinner hosted by Kenyan President William Ruto and French President Emmanuel Macron in honor of the heads of states participating in the Africa-France Summit. President al-Sisi was received by his Kenyan and French counterparts at the Kenyan Presidential Palace in Nairobi. The presidential spokesman said that the launch will witness constructive discussions over Africa-France cooperation prospects